Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're a subscriber, just welcome. If you're new, and thank you. And if you are new, please consider my other videos. Go check them out. Consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you like this video, if you find this useful. I know not everybody is going to be able to do it the way I am going to do today, but you could probably still just use a template and the plasma cutter. Today, what we're working on is any vehicle with step sides. I don't know how many of you this is a problem for, but check this out. Now, I've got the other piece inside the garage, but this is the back step, and this rubber is just deteriorated. Yeah, that's terrible, but it's like gooey at the same time, like tar or something. These were purchased from AutoZone, but there's should be the real deal. I mean, you wouldn't imagine a Fortune 500 company. I don't know, but you never know. So I've peeled all the rubber stuff off of this, and you can tell that they used some of these. Nope, where are they at? And you can tell they used some of these plastic clips, kind of just like for body panels. That's what they look like on the inside there, like that. And the rubber pieces were just, they had some double-sided tape, and then they clipped them into place, and they weren't ever supposed to move. Right here, right there, and right there, and then one at the beginning of the next step. That's how this thing was bolted down. It's just a shell over that. You saw it was just plastic molding. So rather than buy new steps, we thought we'd try and give it a little personal touch. And we're gonna cut some steps out of this, and we'll just sticky tape it like it was with some good tape. So what I did was grab some of this poster board and kind of did like a pencil rub. And you can see there, I just used like my dirty, what was it? It was actually like a plastic body panel pry tool, and it was dirty, and I just rubbed it along here to make my pattern. And I'm going to use my arc droid to trace it, and then we'll see if it can make something manageable out of this. This is really thin stuff, thinner than the material I used to make these, so we'll have to turn the power down a little bit. But this sheet is all I have. It looks like there's probably room for maybe one or maybe two mistakes, but we'll see if what we can get out of it. All right, first attempt. Oh, we gotta hit home first. Now we can trace. There we go. And there are two ways to do this. You do a bunch of individual clicks and it'll connect the dots for you, or you can just hold the button down and draw what exactly you're drawing. I think I'm going to try to just hold the button down. Nope. Let's try that over. So that's actually really terrible, all of that over there. Look at this. It's like really jumpy where I was trying to hold the button, and then when I went to just clicking, obviously you straighten it out a lot. Let's I'm going to start over and try just a clicking method. All right, well that's the trace we got. Let's see what. Let's just see what it looks like when we hit run here with no electricity, while it knows we have the pen hooked in. So far it's running right along the line. Okay, let's try cut. Stop! You're just sitting there melting. What the fuck? Why isn't it pausing? Okay, we're going to try this again, and we're actually going to try to cut on the same line. The amperage wasn't up high enough to cut through the treads. It was high enough to cut through the thinner parts, but not all the way through the treads. And then it started warping, and it started touching and dragging, and it got all off. So we're going to basically just try again. That's better. Now it's cutting through the thread. So far it looks okay. Okay. Clean it up and see how well it fits the step. So this didn't actually come out all that great. I'm not too stoked about the tracing method. It could be cleaned up and made to fit, but rather than having to do that to all 4 pieces, I've also got this mess up here. When it started warping and dragging, it started to cut inside. So this piece is pretty much useless. What I'm going to do is take this file I saved here on that little chip. I'm going to go take it to the laptop and see if I can make it a little more perfect. You know, because we've also, these lines here, there's like it waves in, this line waves in there. So these aren't, I'd have to do a lot of sanding to get that line to be straight when they're actually supposed to bow out on both sides. So that's tracing method. I guess, you know, I could try to trace it again. I think it'd just be too difficult to try and do that. Waste too much material. Using the trace method for like simple triangle brackets or square things, that's probably just fine. You can even make circles and squares on here for your your holes and whatever for simple brackets, but when it comes to these long complex curves, not complex, but just long curves, it's just too hard to get that right. Alright, so I'm going to try tracing this thing, or I did trace it right here. The only thing is this doesn't quite go up high enough to clear these high areas on both ends. It's high enough so I can get a nice smooth line along both edges here, so that should be a lot better. But I'm going to have to do some cleanup around here, I think, once this is cut, because I can't really get them perfect. You have to lift this thing up out of the holder, and then that kind of just makes it inaccurate now. But let's give it a cut and see if it's any closer. Alright, here we go. Gonna have to hold this down with my hands again because it's just sucky. I think that worked. So that worked out a little bit. If I had started with tracing the actual step first, and this is what I would have come out with as my first piece, I'd be happy, because now I can trace this, or I did trace this. Now that it's flat, I've got it cleaned up. These are wide enough and straight enough now. I've got a good enough metal template. There's this stylus, and I was able to drag it along the edge, the side edge of it, and it traced out pretty good. So I should be able to get 3 more steps like that now. Alright, here we go. We're gonna hit lightning on and run. That's a bad start. God dang it. I'm warping so much. What was that? Oh man. Ooh, those lines look good though, except for dang. All that dragging moved it. Dragging. Looks like we can't win, man. Alright, that second one didn't turn out so bad, or the third one technically, but we're not using this one because that got a little cut in it. It pretty much turned out exactly the same as the first one, and with that extra material I put on there, I was able to kind of fix it. But we're gonna roll with that. We're gonna see if we can cut 2 more. All right, got 4 of them all cut out. They're pretty close, pretty good enough. We just got to get the gummy stuff off of these guys and go find some more double stake adhesive, and we can slap those on. So this is actually going pretty easy here. You can see I've cleaned up this part. Only took about 3 minutes, and so the rest of it shouldn't take much longer, but I'm just using some 91% alcohol and a rag, And it seems to be working just fine. And here it is, all cleaned up. Got all the stickiness off. There's like part of the next one over here I cleaned up. I gotta call him back and get the other steps cleaned up now. We're gonna line them up like that. Throw some sticky tape on it. And that's what it's gonna look like. Might wanna try to throw some bends myself in there. Hey, that's better. Much better. Just kind of bent it over my knee a little bit. And now the tape should have no problem. I looked up some tape and it's super expensive to get thin stuff. Not the thick foam core 3M stuff. That's too thick. It would be like floating up above the metal, and it would have probably a tendency to kind of slide because it was so thick. But the thin stuff is just super expensive, or it has to be bought in bulk from one of the stores. Is ridiculous. But so we're gonna go with the 3M like liquid adhesive in the tube that they sell at AutoZone. And look at these other steps. I got them off got them back from him, so I gotta just peel this stuff off. See, this is it's hard to say what they used. It's actually pretty thick. It is foam, obviously, but this is rubber at the same time, not metal. It's been designed to go with this. My aluminum plate's not so much. So I'm gonna get all this peeled off, and then I can work on getting all the goo off. Also got to pull these tabs out of here too. Everything's cleaned up and set into place. It's looking pretty good. I got the truck here. Here's what the steps look like underneath those. So there's just plastic covers that get screwed into these riv nuts here. I'll wipe this all down. Might have to replace that sticky tape now. I just seen that. I got the fresh tape on here. Just gotta peel it off. I hate this stuff. This is ridiculous. God. Put some Loctite on all these and put them back in. That's gonna have to be where that one sits, just because that's how it wants to be. You gotta make sure you put Loctite on these because you don't want them coming undone once you glue these steps on. That's it. Alright, so this is the glue I'm gonna use. It is pretty much the strongest stuff I could find that wasn't a 2-part epoxy. and tape. Just couldn't find thin, good tape that I thought would do it. So we're gonna, these are not symmetrical, so they only go on one direction, and that is the one. So we're gonna set it up, put a bead on these and on this, let it sit for 2 minutes, and hope for the best. Oh man, you know, this actually smells like rubber cement, model glue, or something, or both. Okay, 2 minutes, set the timer. Wow, this pieces on the end of this have already like gelled up. That's good. You could touch it but it doesn't stick to you. Oh, we're gonna have a leaf in there forever now. That was not 2 minutes, but this stuff is tacking up pretty fast. And we'll let that sit. Well, I had to go to Harbor Freight real quick and get enough clamps to do the other side also. So you're gonna let these sit. Unfortunately, it says to let them sit for 24 hours, this glue, that particular glue. So we're gonna have to do that. Well, it has been about 24 hours later, a little less, but these are done. And these are looking really good, a lot better than I expected. I was a little nervous at first after I committed, you know, agreed to making it, because I didn't realize all the contours and the position of the bolts and stuff. I didn't have a stamp or any way to mold because the rubber went way out to here. And I was thinking, you know, I need to cover it. I need to go as far as all the rubber went. And it came way down here and down to this edge. But, you know, this works. We just made it a little smaller just to sit on this one plane here instead of trying to make all these bends and contours. And added these little notches here just to cover up the bolt holes. So I think it's a great you know, solution. So, and it looks really good. Now let's go check out the dirty side. I call it the dirty side because it's the sunny side. It does not look bad. And I just gotta hope that glue holds up and they don't go flying off down the freeway. But that's going to do it. I want to thank you guys for watching and following. Please subscribe, hit the bell. Let me know what you guys think. And, you know, maybe if there's a way I can share this CAD file with you guys, help me out on figuring that out. Maybe just send it through email. I guess probably the easiest way. Shoot me an email if you want that file and you got an Arctroid and you're having the same problems. So I probably don't expect to hear from a whole lot of you. But until next time, guys. Peace.